Rabbi Sai Azoi. There was a period in the life of the Vilna Gaon, seemingly between 1742 and 1747, where he wandered from town to town, possibly trying to find manuscripts or perhaps as a self-inflicted Gadlus. During that period, he was staying overnight in an inn. In the morning, the innkeeper put on his tefillin and started davening, and the Vilna Gaon in his own quarters did the same. He put on his tefillin and started to pray. Suddenly, a violent thug broke in and started to viciously beat the innkeeper. When the Vilna Gaon heard hysterical screams of pain, he left his quarters to see what was going on and how he could help. When he opened the door, the Goy took one look at him and collapsed, fainted on the floor. After calm had been restored, the innkeeper asked the Vilna Gaon why it was that this monstrous impostor had collapsed when he saw the Vilna Gaon. And the Vilna Gaon responded, quoting a pasuk from this week's parasha. V'ra'u kol amei ha'aretz ki shem Hashem nikra alecha v'yiru mimeka. The nations of the world will see that the Shem of Hashem is upon you. Say Chazal, Zot the Gaon, that refers to tefillin shebarosh. This impostor saw my tefillin and he simply collapsed in fear. The divrei Chazal had come true. Unsurprisingly, the innkeeper responded with a kasha. He'd also been wearing tefillin on his head. So why was it that when the thug saw him, he just carried on hurting him? When he saw the Vilna Gaon in his tefillin, he collapsed in fear. My shna, my high. Born in 1720, Rav Eliyahu Kramer had an impact which is almost impossible to fathom, let alone put in words. He's been identified by many as the Torah leader with the greatest influence over the last 4 centuries, possibly even more. And all of that without taking any formal rabbinic position at any stage of his life, rather sitting locked away learning in Vilna. But let's try to get at least a small sense about the degree to which the Gaon's mind was immersed in Torah and Kedusha. His son was made about him that his father never slept for more than 2 hours over a given 24-hour period and never slept for more than 30 minutes at one go. There was one occasion when the Vilna Gaon visited a certain town and mistakenly slept for 32 minutes. He later went back to that town and slept for 28 minutes to make up for his mistake. And a mind so full of Torah, Sukkot was a time when the Gaon was more available to speak to. A group of his Talmidim came and the Gaon gave them a test on Masechah Sukkah. The Gaon asked one very confident Talmid, how many times in the Masechta does it refer to a Sukkah being psula, being disqualified? The Talmud didn't know. Zot the Gaon, 85 times. And that's the gematria of the word sukkah when it's spelled chaser without a vav. And how many times, asked the Gaon, does it refer to a sukkah being kashera in the Masechta? Again, the Talmud didn't know. 91, said the Gaon. And that's the gematria of the word sukkah when it's spelled shalem with a vav. But the Gra's guests on sukkahs were not always so local. Rav Chaim of Volozhin, the Gaon's closest Talmud, reports that one sukkah, on the 3rd day of the festival, the Gaon's father went to visit his son, and he noticed a particular radiant, happy look on his son's face. He asked out of the Gaon what had happened. Despite the Gaon's general reluctance to receive any Torah from a Maggid, he had just received a visit from and had learned b'chevrisa with no less than Yaakov Avinu, who had just taken his leave of the Gaon and departed. In the year 1789, the Gaon was imprisoned for a second time in his life, accused of assisting in rescuing a Jewish boy who had converted to Christianity. He was taken to prison on the Erev Rosh Hashanah, and when Sukkot arrived, he was still there. Refusing to sleep outside of a sukkah, the Gaon, age 69, ran around his prison cell non-stop so as not to go to sleep. Fearing that the elderly rabbi might simply die of exhaustion, the prison guards agreed to have a sukkah built on the grounds of the prison for the Gaon to sleep there. A total dedication to mitzvahs. In 1949, the Soviet authorities planned to dig up and destroy the old cemetery in Vilna where the Gaon was buried. Bureaucrats managed to negotiate with the Russians. They would allow 7 people to be reinterred, including the Gra. Eyewitnesses say that when they saw the body of the Vilna Gaon as he was being interred, there was no sign whatsoever of any decay or any withering. 152 years after his death, the Gaon who was so dedicated to Kedusha and to Torah and to mitzvahs, his body was still intact. Back now to the innkeeper's kasha. Why was it that the violent thug was afraid of only the Gaon's tefillin, but not of the innkeeper's tefillin? The Gaon said, I'll explain. When Chazal say, V'ra'u kol amei haaretz, they don't refer to the tefillin she'ala rosh or the tefillin shel rosh. They say, Eilu tefillin sheberosh. The tefillin are not on your head, they're in your head. Said the Gaon, the point of tefillin is to meshabed your mind, your being totally to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to Avodah. My tefillin, they're toich roishi, whereas yours are merely on your head. And that's why the Gaon was afraid of me, but he wasn't afraid of you. The word Gaon is used to mean genius, but in Tanakh, it actually means pride. What a source of pride for us as Klal Yisrael, that we had such a person upon whom the Shem Hashem was truly Nikra Alav. A good Shabbos. If you have any feedback or stories you'd like us to cover, please email glimpsesofgadlus@gmail.com. And to receive notifications of the clips as they come out, press follow on Torah Anytime.